Here's your lesson essential question for today. What are two different ways to find the total number of equal-sized squares that cover a rectangle? So we are going to be talking about covering rectangles with equal-sized squares. And we'll talk about two different ways to find the total number of those equal-sized squares. Remember, this is a rectangle and this is a square. They're both 2D shapes. So here's my rectangle, and I want to see how many equal size or same size squares I can fit on the face of this rectangle. I need to make sure that I place my squares right next to each other in very straight lines. I don't want them to overlap. So you can see I placed them very neatly and their edges are touching. Now there's two different ways that I can figure out how many squares are on my rectangle. One way is I can count the rows. These rows go side to side. So let's see how many I have in one row. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 in each row, and I have 3 rows. So it will be 5 plus 5 plus 5. I can count by fives. 5, 10, 15. So your first way to figure out how many squares is by adding the rows. The second way is by adding the columns. So rows go side to side, columns go up and down. I have 1, 2, 3 in each column, and I have 5 columns. So it becomes 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. So the two ways that I can figure out how many equal-sized squares are on my rectangle is by adding rows and adding columns. Now it's time for you to practice.